We hear the question all the time, and it sounds like something straight out of a movie. Will artificial intelligence one day completely replace the human soldier? So, what's the real story? Is AI actually on a path to make soldiers obsolete, or is it going to do something different, something more like redefine what a military even is? A great way to get to the truth is to just follow the money.
Okay, take a look at this number, $25.2 billion. That is what the U.S. Department of Defense has earmarked for AI in its 2025 budget. Now, sure, you could say that's only 3% of the total budget, but don't let that fool you. This is a massive signal of just how seriously this technology is being taken at the highest levels.
So, where is all that cash going? It's really easy to let our imaginations run wild with images of sci-fi robot armies. But before we get carried away, let's take a hard look at how AI is being used in the real world today. And the answer might not be what you expect.
Right now, AI's main job is to be a support tool, a really, really smart one. It's sifting through massive amounts of intelligence, helping to pilot drones, shoring up cyber defenses, making complicated supply chains run smoothly, and running incredibly realistic battle simulations. The key here is that it's augmenting what humans do, not replacing them.
And here you can see that impact in black and white. This finding comes from Project Maven, a big DoD program that uses AI to analyze drone footage. This is a perfect example of AI as a force multiplier. It's a military term, but all it really means is that it makes a human team dramatically more effective. I mean, look at that. It more than doubled the output of the analysts.
And this just lays out the practical difference so clearly. Before, you had people literally drowning in a sea of raw data, staring at video feeds for hours on end. With AI, the system does all that heavy lifting. It filters, tags, and flags the important stuff in near real time. This frees up the human experts to focus on what they do best, analyzing verified risks and making critical decisions. It's a fundamental shift from data collection to decision-making.
But AI's impact isn't just about efficiency. It's shaking up the entire economics of warfare. I mean, the conflict in Ukraine has been a wake-up call for the world. We're seeing how cheap drones, often guided by relatively simple AI, can be a serious threat to traditional multi-million-dollar hardware like tanks. This number really says it all. Roughly $400. That's about what it cost for a single first-person view, or FPV attack drone, the kind that can be equipped with AI to lock onto a target. Think about that. A $400 weapon taking on a piece of equipment worth millions. It's completely rewriting the financial rules of conflict.
Okay, so there's no question AI is a powerful disruptive tool, but that power comes with some huge catches, massive technical and ethical hurdles that are standing in the way of full autonomy, and the whole thing really starts with the data itself. This is the fundamental rule of AI. It's only as smart or as reliable as the data it was trained on. You know the saying? Garbage in, garbage out. Now, picture a chaotic, unpredictable combat zone. The data you're getting is likely to be flawed, incomplete, or just plain confusing. That makes AI's reliability a huge problem. This famous MIT study shows you exactly how big that data problem can be. The facial recognition system they tested had an error rate below 1% for men with lighter skin. But for women with darker skin, the error rate skyrocketed to almost 35%. Now just imagine that kind of error rate being applied to identifying a target on a battlefield. The risk of a catastrophic mistake is just off the charts. And that risk leads us to one of the biggest roadblocks to full autonomy, something called the accountability gap. It's a very simple but profound problem. When a machine makes a fatal mistake, who is responsible? And this is not just a philosophical puzzle. It's a legal and moral minefield with no clear path through.
Just think about it for a second. Who do you hold responsible? Is it the commander who deployed the system? Is it the programmer who wrote the original code? Or do you try to blame the AI itself, as if it were a person? The reality is our current legal systems, especially international law, are just not built to handle this question. And that right there is why, no matter how advanced the technology gets, the legal and moral authority has to stay with a human. A piece of technology can calculate odds, but it can't be held accountable for its actions. See, modern warfare is governed by laws that require uniquely human skills. We're talking about things like nuanced judgment, understanding context, and moral reasoning. An algorithm can't tell the difference between a surrendering soldier and an active combatant. It can't make a judgment call on whether an attack is proportional.
For now and for the foreseeable future, those are decisions that have to stay in human hands. And this isn't just a niche concern, it's a global one. More than 30 countries have already gone on the record calling for new international laws to govern lethal autonomous weapons. It shows there's this widespread feeling that we need to get some rules in place before the technology runs away from our ethics.
And it's so important to remember that being in the military isn't just about fighting. A huge part of the job involves things like peacekeeping, building trust with local communities, and handling delicate negotiations. These are incredibly complex human interactions that are just way beyond what AI can do today.
And to put a number on that, just look at the United Nations. Right now, they have about 60,000 uniformed peacekeeping staff deployed around the world. Their jobs are built on human connection and judgment, not on algorithms. So let's bring all these threads together. We've seen AI's incredible power, but we've also seen its very real, very deep limitations. When you put it all on the table, the path forward starts to look a lot clearer. The future here really isn't about replacement, it's about redefinition.
Most experts see three possible futures unfolding. The first is that AI just continues as a force multiplier, making humans better at their jobs. That's basically where we are now. The second path is semi-autonomous warfare, where machines handle more specific tasks, but always with a human supervisor. And the third option, highly autonomous conflict, well, that still feels like a very distant and ethically complicated possibility. So the conclusion to our big question at the beginning seems pretty clear. The most likely future is a hybrid one. It's a partnership where AI provides incredible speed and analytical power, but humans retain the ultimate control, the final responsibility, and the command. But that idea of a perfect partnership leaves us with one last, lingering question. As AI's decision-making speed shrinks from minutes to seconds to microseconds, the real challenge might not be whether we should keep humans in the loop, but whether we'll physically be fast enough to stay there at all.